We will discuss Trump in this episode. It is excellent that he is seriously investigating Bitcoin. Bitwise CIO, Matt Hogan, will be speaking to us. Since Ripple recently lent Bybit a ridiculous amount of XRP, we will discuss the Bybit hack. We'll investigate, and I have 3 distinct TA specialists in the spaces. I hope that's not the case. They brought up their charts, and we will review them. You're in for a treat as I go over them on my TradingView chart and what I'm seeing right now. So, settle back and enjoy. $95,711 in Bitcoin. In the last day, it has decreased by 0.9%. The price of Ethereum is $2,794. Right now, XRP is up 1.7%. Well, nothing noteworthy is happening. With a current price of $2.54, it has lost 1.4% over the last day. The market value of all cryptocurrencies is $3,154 billion. After this, where will we go? Well, it looks like we're still chopping. Where is Bitcoin now located? Could we retest 9091K in the center of that $90,000 region? That is still possible, but we are running out of time for Bitcoin to rise and leave this unpleasant range it has been in. I posted this because it's humorous. It's been 2.5 years, but I'm happy to have my FTX payout back. It was just deposited onto Bybit. What are we waiting for? People put it on Bybit, but it was hacked, so it's all gone. Oh, I thought it was funny, but I know some people gave me a few LOLs down there. Now, Watch Guru shares that Bybit is stating that they are beginning to take out loans to cover the withdrawals, essentially to help cover the losses. We observe. If I had to guess, this is coming from Ripple's wallet here. 40 million XRP worth over $102 million were transferred from an unknown wallet to Bybit. This isn't a typical everyday Joe who owns this amount of XRP. If not, Bybit is going to dump 40 million XRP onto the market. Unless, of course, Bybit didn't get hacked for XRP, so unless they're going to convert this, which isn't good because it's a sell, they're going to sell XRP to buy back the ETH and give it out. It's not a good look if that's the case because that's $102 million that we would need to eat on those order books. Yes, alright, Ripple is acting appropriately. The proper thing isn't important to me at the moment. Alright, Bybit was compromised. They ought to be able to repay their people and have the money somewhere. They should not be requesting money transfers from others if they say they have reserves and one-to-one backings. Because XRP will be thrown back onto the markets, Ripple should not provide it to them if they wanted to do the right thing and give them cash. What takes place? It has an impact on XRP's pricing. It's that easy. Even if they go over the counter, we still don't want this. Eventually, XRP will be released into the market. We're going to show this again because, according to Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan, there is a lot of demand for an XRP ETF. This will lead to our next discussion point about Trump and Bitcoin. After that, we'll look at those 3 TA charts to see if everyone is on the same page. Finally, we'll pull up my chart, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions on where we are headed. Before we do that, we saw earlier this week that the SEC formally acknowledged Bitwise's application for the spot XRP ETF. I understand you can't discuss the specific application, but I was wondering if you could share what you've heard about the demand for an XRP ETF in particular. There wasn't as much demand for an ETH ETF as there was for a Bitcoin one, but adoption is growing, so what does the scope look like for an XRP fund? Well, aside from the Bitwise filing specifically, as you mentioned, I believe there is a significant demand for an XRP ETF because XRP has had a thriving community for a very long time and is an asset that trades heavily on centralized exchanges. The second point is that the SEC is much more open to discussions under the current administration than it was under the previous one. In the former administration, the door would simply be closed, making it impossible to discuss things like staking or in kind. Okay, we don't need to hear the whole thing here at the end of the day, and I'm going to keep talking about this and tweeting about it. ETF is coming for XRP. I do think that XRP will be the next item on the list. We should expect an NQ2 this year, in my opinion. I think an XRP ETF will be released. Solana, HBAR, Chainlink, Trumpcoin, Dogecoin, and I believe they will all have exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Before we get this article come from the CryptoMinute.com talking about how Trump is paying serious attention to Bitcoin, and it says opines quickly turned to Washington when a Trump administration has launched several initiatives that place Bitcoin firmly on the federal agenda. In particular, the White House recent executive orders have prompted agencies to explore whether the U.S. should establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve, incorporate Bitcoin into a potential sovereign wealth fund, and devise clearer rules around stablecoin. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to look at this, and Trump's going to be like, we're not going to put all eggs into one basket. Should we have a strategic crypto reserve? The answer is yes. Should it only be Bitcoin? The answer is no. So what they're going to do is they're going to take a bunch of these different crypto assets, especially ones that World Liberty of Financial is invested in, and they are going to put these into a strategic crypto reserve. This is super bullish, especially for these assets that you are holding. This is like the dream scenario that we all have been waiting for, and it is about to come true. You're going to have a country backing particular cryptos. Squeaky Mouse put out his chart. He goes based on XRP's recent price movement. We may only be days away from our next breakout. Here you go. You can see his little triangle forming. We could get down. He's thinking to this bottom point of form wave 4 down here, which is probably sitting around, if I had to guess, 250, give or take, right around that range. And once that does hit, we can see the explosion to the upside, which, as I've stated before, we will not be sitting in at $3 to $4 range for a long time. It is going to absolutely explode through there, and we're going to reach our new all-time high. So when we look at my chart, you can see these thick yellow lines. These are your support and resistance areas that need to get broken. So we look what Squeaky's saying. We come back over here, right, sitting at 250 right here as well, sitting at 251 that we just had a bounce. Could we tap this one more time and then break to the upside? Yes, but I also have my eyes onto 230 range, right around 230,230,231. Before we break to the upside, Dark Defenders, right, he says, hello, hi, all. XRP reached another decision point at 2,060 cents, which plays a crucial role above this level and significantly above 277. The second leg of the bullish weekly structure is continued to expand, so this is what he has now. Remember, I have it as 282. Is the breakout. He's talking about a significant level above 277 here. He is almost the same chart, but he has this thing tapping around at the bottom of it like 255-ish. But if it does break to the downside, 244, which is interesting, right? So I think all these TA experts are coming to the conclusion that, there's, I would say, 240 to play it safe. You like to give yourself a little wiggle room here. The 240 to 250 range is the crucial level. It is the key level that we most likely are going to tap it one more time before that push-up starts to happen. I do believe in the worst-case scenario, and this would be with Bitcoin retesting that $90,000 to $91,000 range, that we would see XRP retest around 230. I really don't see it going back to the 2020 all-time high around $1.97. I think that is off the books for now. I think once we get around 230 to 220 to 230 to give ourselves that 10-cent buffer, because you can't be perfect with this thing, right? Especially depending on what chart you're looking at. I think that is it. I think once we do get, if we do get there, then it's time to go up. But we're looking at the key level right now on XRP. It's sitting at $2.54. It did get as low as about 250. Let's see what Monday brings. Usually the weekends are pretty slow for crypto. I don't expect any sort of excitement today. I think it's going to be a very boring day on the charts. I think if things were to start to heat up, it will be Sunday night Eastern time, because that's when the Asia is going to start waking up. And when they start waking up, they will dictate which way the crypto markets are going to go. If they start to push up into the green when the US starts to wake up on Monday morning, I think it's going to continue with the green trend. That is what I'm paying attention to for today. Step away, go get some air, go get some steps, and do something productive. Don't just stare at the charts. Not good for your mental health, trust me.